Hey, it's the Profit Answer Man, Rocky Lalvani. Before we start, let's hear a Profit First success story from Ariana Sylvester from Lifestyle Builders.
Switched over to Profit First exclusively in our brick and mortars. That was a really big moment for us because we finally took control over our money and how we were doing things in that business. Whereas before we were very reactionary and kind of just dealing with things as they came up. Obviously, we had our bookkeeping software and we would look at reports, but that was all after things were happening. Whereas Profit First kind of gave us the ability to project out into the future and to say, hey, we really need to take control here and make sure that our money is doing what we want it to do in these businesses.
Would you prefer to be in charge? Or do you always want to be behind and reactionary? The choice is yours, common and control or chaos. The goal of this podcast is to help you, the business owner, understand your financial numbers so you can make better decisions. We learn money mastery without all the complicated accounting mumbo jumbo using a simple system. Your accountant is busy documenting your transactions and creating a rearview mirror of what happened. My guess is you don't even look at the reports they send you. If you're like most business owners, you struggle with this, and it's not your fault. We're not taught money in school. The Profit First system created by Mike Michalowicz works, and he certified me to help you implement the system in your business. Remember, the new equation is sales minus profit equals expenses. We take profit first. Let's face it, without cash flow, you can't pay your employees, buy needed materials, or pay your mortgage and support your family. I help you to do that and more so you can focus on the parts of the business you love and receive the rewards for your labor and investment into your business. Just remember, more revenue does not equal more profit. That's why we focus on the bottom line. Please let me know where you're struggling and what you want to hear more about. You can email me at questions@profitanswerman.com. I read every email, or go to the Profit Answer Man Facebook group and post them. I'll answer questions on the show and also directly respond back to you. Today, we're going to talk about finding money in your business because it's there. I was just chatting with one of my clients, and in 2 minutes, we found over $2,000 of savings for him that took him literally the 2 minutes that we were talking to implement that change. You can imagine what it's like when we talk for longer and how much this adds up. The key here is to ask questions and think outside the box for innovative ways to cut costs. I don't care how much revenue you have. If your cost of doing business is more than you're charging, you've got a problem. You have to know and understand your costs and be focused on cutting them. As companies find cheaper ways to deliver products to their customers and margins increase, someone invariably will cut prices, and then you're back to having to find a new way. There's a story I always read of a business owner who was competing with the shop next door. They both bought sugar from the same supplier in 50-pound containers. The one owner kept cutting price until one day he was actually selling the product at a loss. The competing business owner had had enough. He went over to him and said, "What are you doing? You're going to go out of business. How are we able to survive when you're selling below cost?" He said, "Actually, I'm making a profit. I'm actually selling the containers, the 50-pound containers that the sugar came in, as scrap, and that's where I make my profit, by selling the empty containers." Talk about thinking outside the box. You know the story of the origin of chicken wings? It used to be that we would cook the entire chicken in the past. And then in the 80s, people started preferring boneless breast meat. And so the wings became an inexpensive byproduct for chicken producers. And accidentally, a restaurant owner kind of figured out that, hey, if we fry these things up and put some spicy sauce on them, we can actually make profit. And that's where it comes, by thinking outside of the norm. And sales went through the roof. And now chicken wings sell at a premium. Again, back to the drawing board, finding a new way. Here's another thing that nobody talks about. As sales go up, the amount of work and support needed also goes up. And the bigger you grow, the more inefficient you become. And that's where profit disappears. We'll get to more on that in a moment. So the goal here is to ask yourself the following question. How do I get 2x the results with half the effort? Here's a hint. It may be better systems. So I talk to landscapers and realize that there's got to be a faster way to mow lawns. And one of the things is if you don't have to deal with obstacles and they can go full out, then that's the way they do it. So how do we remove the obstacles in your business so that you can run full out? You have to innovate and find better ways to handle those bottlenecks and use the waste that you have in your business in new ways, like the story that I told. Sometimes it's 100 small changes, or maybe it's one big change. I'm on the board for our HOA, and we used to spend an enormous amount of money every year on mulch. What did we do? We replaced the mulch with stones. Yeah, it cost us 2 or 3 times up front the amount to put the stone in, but now the maintenance cost year after year is a fraction of what we were spending, and everyone's happy. UPS is a master at cutting costs and times. They have their trucks on routes where they only have to make right turns as much as possible because it's faster to make right turns. They went from washing trucks every day to every other day. 2x the result. They hold the keys on their pinky finger so that they're quickly in and out of the truck. Although I think these days a key fob would be better, and maybe they're using them. So how do you get 2x the results with half the effort in your business? This is why it's important to work on the business instead of in the business. When you're in the business, you can't make these 2x types of decisions. The other thing is, do you have unprofitable services in your business? Do you even know? Do you have headache clients that take up 6x the effort as a good client? Maybe we need to do less and serve less people to make more. I know of doctors who stopped taking Medicare because it pays so little. They cut their volumes by 80%. They cut their massive staff and real estate holdings. They make a lot less revenue, but you know what? They have a ton more time. They make the same, if not more, profit. 80% less volume in work, same amount of money in their pocket. How does that sound to you? You get to go hang out with your family and live life and enjoy the time to work on the business instead of in the business. You probably know who your best and most profitable clients are. Well, why not focus on serving them and finding more of them rather than your offerings that you don't enjoy or with clients that you struggle with? The wealthiest business executives I know solve problems that screw up workflow by creating a workaround or by building tools and systems to go faster. Remember, we're not going to jolt our company overnight, but we take little steps and we keep moving forward. I know you already know the 80-20 rule. 80% of your money probably comes from 20% of your clients and offerings. There's a lot of waste and time in business, and you have to sniff it out and remove it. Your employees are spending your money without care because they don't get rewarded to cut costs. And they get in trouble when something goes wrong. So why not spend more and be safe? You've got to change that mentality in your employees as well. Remember to stay in your business lane. Small projects done to appease customers outside your normal services end up costing you a lot of time and effort because you're not an expert there and you don't do it well. It's better to sub it out to someone else or to say no to that business. One reason businesses waste money is a lack of clarity on their purpose and what needs to be done and when in an organized fashion. Right now, I'm reading the 12-week year, which is about creating focus in our actions and implementing. It's about removing low-value tasks from your day. They may seem nice, but they don't move your business forward. It also comes back to Parkinson's Law. Remember, the amount of resources we devote to a project is what we use up. Well, when you only have 12 weeks to get your year done, You got to get stuff done. You get rid of the things that don't matter, right? We're cutting the bottom line. So we've got 2 goals for today. Pick one area of your business to focus on. Do 2x the results with half the effort. Second, get rid of bad customers who don't bring you profit. How? Just raise their prices. They will either go away or you'll be more profitable because they're paying you more. I'm going to close out with a quote from Zig Ziglar. Our number one objective is to make a profit so we can hit our number one priority, which is to help people be all they can be. Right? This isn't about the money. This is about you enjoying and living life and enjoying the fruits of the business that you've built. Remember, we don't need more resources. We need to be more resourceful. That's what this entire episode was about. Focusing on the bottom line. If you don't want to deal with this, put somebody in the seat to do it for you. That's what I do. If you want to learn more about living the life of your dreams, check out my other podcast called Richer Soul. Let's repeat the mantra before we shut out. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. Let's thrive and grow. Have a profitable week.